While the Colorado shooting spree dominates headlines, Norway is preparing to remember its own tragedy. Here's Euronews.
Memorial services will be held across Norway on Sunday for the 77 people killed in 2 attacks carried out by Anders Breivik a year ago.
July 22nd marks the 1-year anniversary of a bombing and shooting spree by the alleged anti-multicultural gunman. So how did the tragedy affect public discourse in Norway? In an interview with The Telegraph, the country's Prime Minister Jens Stoltenberg said Norway reacted differently than other countries who experienced mass murders, namely by becoming even more open and democratic. Many Norwegians feel that response was more mature and enlightened than the security clampdown that followed 9/11 in the United States. A survivor of the massacre tells BBC.
People have thought it a bit naive, for example, to cling to these values of openness. But I think it's more naive to think that, you know, a more brutal police, more restrictive policies will bring you a more safer society.
But a Wall Street Journal contributor who covered the Breivik trial says Norwegians might be making a mistake. He says treating Breivik like any other criminal, including providing health care, entertainment, and even hired company so he doesn't get lonely, demonstrates a real failing.
And again, I give the Norwegians a great deal of credit for dealing with the incident with some dignity, but at the end of the day, they're looking evil in the face and sort of flinching.
And a writer for Spiegel Online points out there are challenges to Norwegians' claim of openness going on right now. Nationalist elements in the country may be more reluctant to criticize what they call Islamization, but they seem to have found another target in the nomadic Roma people. The Roma have finally arrived in Oslo. This has sparked hateful tirades on Norwegian internet forums where the Roma are disparaged and death threats are made. It also raises the question of whether there is a cultural background to all the hate and prejudices. But for the survivors of the massacre, it's important that Breivik doesn't get what he wants, a fearful, less open society. Al Jazeera reports many of the teenagers that lived through the nightmare plan to resume having youth summer camps on the same island they narrowly escaped.
And that's all to do with the Norwegian approach of trying to make sure that the terrible events of last summer don't change this country forever.
Anders Breivik's trial ended in June. A verdict is expected in late August. For Newsy, I'm Christian Bryant. Multiple sources, the real story.